But just to be precise, is Saudi Arabia abandoning any possibility of a nuclear option?
Wolf, I would not discuss these things in a public forum, certainly not on television. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is committed to two things. I always say two things we do not negotiate over: our faith and our security. Saudi Arabia will do whatever it takes in order to protect our nation and our people from any harm, and I will leave it at that.
Because when I spoke with Secretary Kerry, we discussed the reports out there that Saudi Arabia potentially could go shopping for a bomb maybe in Pakistan. You were just in Pakistan. Did you discuss nuclear cooperation with the Pakistanis?
I discussed the bilateral relationship with Pakistan, which is a strategic one. We discussed the regional situation. We discussed ways to promote security and stability in the region. And we discussed the negative and aggressive Iranian interference in the affairs of the region.
So the issue of Pakistan potentially providing nuclear technology to Saudi Arabia, did that come up?
I will not go into get into details of discussions we have with foreign governments, and certainly not allied governments. Wolf, I'm sure you understand.
What do you want Iran to do now to restore diplomatic relations?
Very simple. Iran should cease interfering in the affairs of the countries of the region. Iran should cease to support terrorism. Iran should cease to assassinate diplomats and blow up embassies. Iran should cease to support militias whose objective is to destabilize countries in the region. Iran should cease its policy of negative propaganda in the region. Other than that, things should be fine with Iran.
Are you okay with the billions of dollars that Iran is about to get as a result of the nuclear deal?
Wolf, I think most countries in the world are not okay with it. I think most countries in the world are concerned that Iran will use these funds in order to fund its nefarious activities rather than use them to develop its country and improve the living standards of its people. I hope I'm wrong.
Foreign Minister, you write in the New York Times about how Iran is promoting terrorism, but for you this is also very personal, and you mentioned this in the article. The Iranians, through an agent in Washington, tried to kill you. Do you have confidence that this Iran deal now will work and that you no longer will be on their hit list?
Wolf, I've said before when you asked me about this question that this is not personal. This is not about me. This is about my nation. This is about my region. This is about a country that has been aggressive in its policies, that has had no inhibitions in using terrorism. This is a country that occupied the American embassy in Iran for 444 days, including taking American diplomats hostage. This is a country that has blown up the American embassy in Beirut, killed the U.S. Marines at Beirut International Airport, killed French soldiers in Lebanon. This is a country that has blown up embassies, that has assassinated diplomats, including 3 Saudi diplomats in Thailand. This is a country that's implicated in the Khobar Tower bombings. In fact, it planned it and its officials directed it, and the people who perpetrated this crime moved to Iran and have been sheltered by Iran for the past 20 years. This is a country that has no inhibitions about engaging or supporting terrorism, death and destruction. This is a country that has provided troops and recruited troops in a sectarian war in Syria that has allowed Bashar al-Assad to murder more than 250,000 of his people and to render 12 million of them refugees or displaced persons. So you put all this together, that's where the problem is, and that's where the lack of confidence is. It's not about me.
Minister, let's talk about the Shiite cleric who was executed, beheaded, Sheikh Nimr al-Nimr, and 46 others on the eve of the nuclear deal. The suspicion was that the timing of this was designed in part to undermine that deal. Was it?
Absolutely not. Nimr al-Nimr is not a religious scholar. He's a terrorist.
The Foreign Minister, is that the Saudi Arabia beheadings is what ISIS does. They behead individuals as well, and there's been a negative light shined on your country as a result. Any second thoughts?
Well, Wolf, I think people tend to be too superficial. We have the death penalty, so does the United States. If we were to use the same methods that the United States uses, and then tomorrow ISIS decides to use those same methods, does that mean that they got it from us? Does this mean we have to change our method again? The death penalty is part of our legal system, and people who commit crimes that lead to the death of the innocent are punished. And this is something that the world has to respect, just like we respect the laws of other countries, including countries that do not have the death penalty. With regards to the numbers, the 47 people who were put to death, I think that if a United States Air Force had bombed 47 ISIS members, including those who decapitated and killed the Americans in one day, I think people would be cheering on the streets.